Hello everybody, this is Eric here. This is the Brightwell blueberry, Rabbiteye blueberry. This cultivar was released by the University of Georgia in 1983. This is my favorite Rabbiteye cultivar because the blueberries are so sweet. They taste like blueberry candy, and they're sweet even when they're underripe, which some of the other Rabbiteyes are not sweet until they're very ripe. But these are very good. They get dime to nickel size. This is a first year plant. I planted this in the spring. Got some nice growth on the tips here. I use a pine log that I found that was rotted as mulch. Rabbiteye blueberries are more drought, heat tolerant. I have had to water some this year, especially being a first year plant here. The berries are nice size, very sweet, very delicious. We'll go over here to my other Brightwell blueberry plant. This one I planted last spring, not this last spring, but in 2017 spring. It's not doing as well this year. The berries, it did put on some berries, but they're small, and I think a lot of it is that I didn't realize it needed water until it was too late. The berries didn't develop big like the other one that I was paying attention to and taking care of because it was a first year plant. This one I thought would have more roots and be better adapted, and we just have been really dry. We haven't had very much rain at all this spring. Very unusual for us. Got a few getting ripe here. This plant's not doing great, and like I said, I think a lot of it is I didn't take care of it until just recently. But some of it may be the soil acidity. This is not in a woodland setting like some of my other blueberries. I used a pine needle mulch last year, and I used the same rotted log pine tree mulch as I did the other Brightwell this year. It is a longer term soil acidifier to use mulch because it has to break down, soak down to the roots, and acidify the soil. A lot of people recommend peat moss, sulfur amendments, but when I plant a blueberry plant, if I dug a hole and filled it with peat moss, even if that hole was 2 feet wide and 2 foot deep, I filled it with peat moss. What happens in 2 or 3 years when the roots of the blueberry plant go past the peat moss and start going into your soil? It goes into soil that's not acid. So in my mind, if I can use a natural forest floor mulch top system for a plant, using pine mulch, pine needles, and as the plant's roots grow, I can move the mulch out away from the plant, keep going all the way around the plant until I get out far enough to where the roots are for that specific year. And then as that breaks down, it creates a forest floor top system for the blueberry plant. This one has only been in the ground for a little over a year. It hasn't had time to develop that way. I do have some. I have a climax plant that is 3 years old in ground, and I did the mulch system this way with it. It's very healthy this year, put on a lot of berries, but they're not ripe yet, so it's going to be a few days before that video. They are a really dark blueberry, almost black. But these are Brightwells. Like I said, these aren't as big as the other plant, but they're still sugary sweet. Tastes like blueberry candy. It's the best way I can say. Even when they're a little underripe, they're still sweet. unlike the Premier, some of the other types of blueberries that need to be really ripe before they're really good. But Rabbiteye blueberries are great. They bloom a little later in the season, escape a lot of those late freezes, and this year we had a late freeze, serious one. And these, the blooms did great. Made blueberries anyway. Thank you very much for watching Brightwell Blueberry.